Hello everyone and welcome to the new episode of Entrepreneurship Lab, your place and your favorite podcast to learn more about growing and scaling your business. We always bring you on interesting topics, guests, people to share their stories, their mistakes, their successes, and with one goal is really to add value to you and your business. My name is Nevena Bajalac, I'm host of the podcast. And as always, I am also here on a mission to help you. So today I want to talk about a very unique topic and something that was crucially important for my success. And I believe it's going to be a changing information and valuable information for all of you. And this is information that I learned on certain personal development seminars, and it helped me really understand who am I as a human being and what are our strengths and what are the higher faculties we actually have and how to properly use them. So as intellectual beings, as human beings, we have certain higher faculties that separate us from animal world, and those higher faculties are given to us so we can create the life we want. On one of my episodes in the past, when I talked about goals and setting goals, I said that we're goal-seeking organisms, right? And I'm going to touch point on these 6 faculties, and you will see how those faculties actually help you create the life that you desire. And since you're an entrepreneur, you listen to this podcast or you want to be one, this is going to be crucially important, because when you understand what are your 6 higher faculties, higher intellectual faculties, and why are they there, why do they exist, you can then know how to use them properly and achieve the success you want and fulfill your goals very quickly. So 6 higher faculties, I love you, of course, to, if you're listening, to remember, take notes. I believe in writing, and something happens when we listen and we convert those words into written paper. So unless you're driving, when you're listening to this, I want to invite you to really take this information and write this information down. So I'm going to share what are the 6 faculties first, and then I'm going to explain each one of them, why they exist, and how we can use them to grow and scale our business. So we have perception, imagination, will, memory, reason, and intuition. Let me say again: perception, imagination, will, memory, reason, and intuition. These are the 6 higher faculties that are given to us as creative beings that we should learn how to use, and that can help us, like I said, create the life we desire. So let's start with perception. I love talking about perception because perception is really a point of view, right? And perception helps us. The purpose of perception is how we see a situation or a problem, right? And if we change the perception, if we change how we see the things, you heard about this, the things you look at will also change. And one of the things that I love the most, I think about coaching and consulting and having someone to work with, is that that person can help you change your perception. Now, if you look at a chair, that chair or a table is small or big only when you compare it to another small or big chair. And I'm going to tell you how this specifically we use in sales, right? When it comes to money, for some person, something $20,000 can be a lot of money. Other people can think they're broke if they're on $20,000. So it's a perception. What's a lot? What's a little? What's mediate? Right? And how we can use this in our business, it's important to give people options and show them options so they can perceive and compare. That's why in packaging and pricing your product or service, it's important that you have certain tiers so basically people can compare. If you say something costs $2,000, people might say that's very expensive, but if you tell them there is a $20,000 option or $200,000 option, $1 million option, then $2,000 seems like a lot, right? So what we just did in this process of repackaging and pricing is that we switched their perception and we help them perceive things a little bit differently, right? So it's very interesting because perception affects everything. It affects how people see us. In some countries we are considered fat, in some countries we can be considered skinny, depends on the culture, right? How people perceive it. House can be big for one person, huge house for other person can be considered a small house. And this is what I learned, that we all have just a perception. When we look at a book, right, if I show you a book now and I look at one side, you look at the other side, I might say there is nothing on the cover of this book. And you might say, well, there is something. And this is where arguments happen, because as people, we can perceive things much differently. I hope this makes sense. So no matter what problem or situation you are in, one of the exercises you can do to change your perception is ask other people how they perceive it. Because what can be a huge problem for you, for someone who's been through it, they can tell you this is the solution, just do 1, 2, 3, and that's it. Don't make a big deal out of it. So their perception is that that's not a big problem, while you feel you're in the huge problem, right? That there is no solution out of it. So one of the exercises, like I said, it can help you is ask other people, or even have imaginative conversation about some other people or successful people that you admire, and say, how would this person perceive this problem, and what would they do to resolve it, right? It's unbelievably helpful exercise to do. So perception is first higher faculty, and often if we change our perception, everything else will change in our business. So it's important to pay attention on your self-talk, on your thoughts, on how you're looking at the situation, what are you talking about situation, and so on. So use your perception as a strength to identify what's happening, and then just start perceiving it the other way. It's going to change everything in your business and in your life. Now let's move on to the next higher faculty. That's imagination. I love imagination because when we're young kids, we use imagination so much, and our parents are usually happy because we can entertain ourselves for hours using our imagination. However, in this society that we live, very often imagination or fantasizing is being suppressed. So they tell you, stop fantasize, be realistic. And I just want to tell you that everything you see around you, if you're in your car listening to this, if you're in your house, look at anything ahead of you, in front of you, behind you. Look at the building that you live in, or a house you live in. This was once someone's imagination. It didn't exist. The chair you're sitting on didn't exist. Somebody had a vision, imagined in their head, and then created it, right? I think Mary Morris has said everything is created twice. Once in imagination and once in the 3D reality that we call reality. So don't take imagination for granted. Because imagination can really, the purpose of imagination is to help you see the things that don't exist yet. And if you're an entrepreneur, that simply means you're seeing the things that don't exist yet, and you're going towards it, and you're persistent, and nobody else can see what you see. So it's a very powerful higher faculty, and it helps you to see your goals in the future, see how and make you feel how you want to feel in the future, and who you want to become, and which goals you want to achieve. So it's really such a powerful tool that we have, especially in business and imagination, and you can use it in a negative way or use it in a positive way. You can think about, oh, my business will crash, I will not have clients or customers, or you can say, I am seeing myself as very successful, having a lot of clients who enjoy doing business with me. So you can pre-create, because we always actually create our reality through our imagination and our thoughts. So think about it and take some time in the next couple of days to, where is your imagination taking you? Are you really still fantasizing? If not, I'm going to invite you to start fantasizing again, like when you were a child. It can really take you much, much further than you ever imagined. Right? So that was our second faculty. We're going to talk about third one, which is the will. Will is basically ability to focus on something. And many people don't train themselves to focus, right? Focus, and then I am willing, right? I'm focusing on my goals and my vision, and I'm willing to be persistent and consistent to achieve my goals. And if you maybe struggle with ADHD, or simply you're not someone who can focus, there's simple exercises to improve your focus by, drawing a small dot on a wall, or focusing on something, a part of your furniture, or a candle that's burning, and sit and focus for 1 minute, 2 minutes, and the next day extend to 3 minutes, to 5 minutes. So push your mind to be very determined and focus on one thing at a time. You really can develop this faculty much further. And why is this faculty so important is because it helps you not quit in tough times. Entrepreneurship is very tough. So you're gonna have periods where things are growing, you're gonna have periods where it might be stagnant, you might constantly grow a company, but you're gonna come across different problems, and your will to resolve those problems and setting new goals and move forward is what's gonna make a big difference. So you should definitely work on developing and using your higher faculty will. Okay, let's move on, which is next, a higher faculty, and that's memory. So many people believe and tell themselves a story that they have a bad memory. And for me, people very often tell me you have such a good memory, but I am willingly training my memory, right? Memory is a faculty also that can be trained. Everyone actually has a perfect memory. It's just you haven't developed it enough, or you're not using it enough. And first step is to stop telling yourself that you have a bad memory. Stop telling yourself, oh, I never remember people's name, because you don't even pay attention when you say your name. So pay attention next time. Or there are so many different techniques these days on how we can develop and improve our memory. Okay, so memory helps us to remember things, the information, things that we have to do, but it's something that can be trained, and in business it's so important. Of course, you have technology these days, and you should definitely use artificial intelligence and technology with all the reminders. However, if you put an effort to remember people's names, to remember at least 1 or 2 things about them, this can make a big significant difference in your relationship, and business, successful business, is a result of those relationships. So I want you to really start developing your memory, and start paying attention and say, how improving my memory gonna actually help me scale my business. On day-to-day tasks and performance, it's crucial, because memory will help you know what you have to do. Again, you should definitely write things down. You should definitely work on it. However, you can improve your memory. I want you just to change that limiting beliefs about yourself and your memory. Okay, let's move forward with to reason. Next higher faculty we're going to talk about is reasoning, or reason. And purpose of reasoning is thinking and analyzing. And studies show, I don't know how we can test this in animals, but we are probably the only beings on this planet who can think about our thinking. We are aware that we are thinking. We are aware that we are observing. We are aware that we can have a positive or negative thoughts, and we can control those thoughts. So reasoning is thinking and analyzing about our thinking, right? And it helps us in analyzing our business ideas in business world. It helps us in discovering our limiting beliefs. So reasoning is a very good factor, a very important higher faculty actually. And you can reason with some people or something that's negative, or many people don't even use the reason. You would think they are, you're like, oh, they're smart, they're educated, they're thinking. However, all they're doing is following the masses. And for me, one of the things I always do, which can be maybe annoying to some people I've worked with, is that I'm always reanalyzing how things are done. And I learned from inventors and business owners that, why are we doing things in this way? Why is the business done in this way? Or why is the system done in this way? Can we do it differently? Can we do it better, faster? So constantly train your reasoning factor onto thinking about new ideas, analyzing those ideas, questioning things. Don't be afraid to question things, right? Because we live in this bubble and we follow the masses and we think, oh, there's only one way to do things. So they say belief is just a thought that we're rethinking over and over again. And when we reevaluate our belief, right, or reevaluate the things, the belief about the things will change. Which means if I believe that it's very difficult to, I don't know, earn money online, all I have to do is change my limiting belief and go find evidence that it's actually easy. All I have to do is develop awareness how to do it. It doesn't have to be necessarily hard. Now I'm asking different questions to myself and I'm playing a different game, because I'm not over there thinking it's hard anymore, but I'm looking into how I can learn it as well and how I can make it easy. I hope this makes sense, but reasoning is definitely something that's there, and something that how you should use it is really, like I said, analyzing things. Don't accept everything that's said to you, or when you hear your thoughts, oh, it's difficult or it's a tough time, say to yourself, wait, is it really? What's happening on the market? Am I just not reinventing fast enough? Am I just not waking up too fast, or are we still stuck in our old way of thinking, and so on and so forth. And all the most successful companies, they are actually using the reason to break through and, like we say, think outside the box. So that's something I want to challenge you and invite you to do in the next couple of days. And we have came to the last sixth higher faculty, which is intuition. And I think a lot of people talk about intuition, about gut or inner guidance, right? And I like to say it's kind of like a higher knowing, right? There is a part of you that always know there is something more. And intuition can help you make decisions, because sometimes it's important to follow intuition, because you might want something, but your higher knowing is guiding you the other way. And I think it's very important to start listening to our intuition and paying attention. And one of the best cases, if you don't feel you're in touch with your intuition, I don't know if you meditate or not, if you're able to meditate or not, but meditation is definitely a time where you can ask for guidance and ask your intuition to guide you in the right direction, and not give you like go left, go right instructions, but kind of surrender and say, I surrender, and I have the higher knowing and higher trust that things are working out for me. They always are working out for me. So how can I just use my intuition, and when I feel that something is not right or correct, I'm gonna follow that. When I feel I shouldn't sign this deal, I'm not gonna sign it, no matter how much I want to close more deals, right? So listening to your intuition, I think it's really a higher knowing, if you ask me, and it's something that's gonna help you, guide you. And when things seem to fall apart, or something doesn't work out, or if you ever been fired, or you lost your job, or your business wasn't working, or some of your clients didn't sign up, your higher knowing knows that that's not the right match for you, or relationship didn't work out. So I would really start developing more of that trust, and definitely you should use a little bit more of the intuition to follow your gut, like they say, and connect with it a little bit more. That's I think where I'm gonna stop and finish for today. So to recap, perception, imagination, will, memory, reasoning, and intuition are 6 higher faculties. And they are such a powerful tools that if you never heard of them, because the school doesn't teach about these, it's maybe the first time you're hearing this information. And it's such a powerful information, because when you have the information and you know how to use it and you become aware, then you can change something. There is a saying that most people are actually having success, but they are something called unconsciously competent, right? So they're competent, they have success, but they're not conscious of how and why they're having that success, because they don't understand themselves, they don't understand mind, conscious, subconscious mind, and habits. And the only problem is when you make mistakes, you don't know what to correct. When you know your higher faculties and how to use them, you're going to be able to correct mistakes, and when things are not working out, you can correct that with your imagination, with your changing of perception, with your will to stay persistent, and so on. So be consciously competent, be successful, and know how you're and why you're successful. For me, I'm always observing and I'm like, oh, I know why this person is successful, because this is the way they think, this is the way how they take action, they're in praxis, which means connecting their belief with their action. So they're getting those results. They are on a high frequency of vibration where they're feeling good, because all the things you want are on a high frequency. If you're feeling guilt, if you feel bad, if you're disappointed, if you're angry, none of those emotions are emotions of success that you want. So you're going to have to guide yourself on that emotional guidance scale to go further. So we're going to wrap it up here. Please, I want to invite you, if you enjoyed this episode, give us a like, comment below what was your biggest takeaway, and give us thumbs up, hearts, share the episode so others can benefit as well, subscribe, and stay tuned and listen to the next episodes that are coming. We're gonna, of course, bring you a lot of valuable information as usual, and go and re-listen this once again if needed, and put one thing at a time. How I'm going to work on each one of my faculties, one faculty at a week or one faculty a day, and how I can become more aware and develop my faculties so I can have success that I want, and faster. Of course, we always want it faster. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you for being here, and I will see you in the next episode.